I too believe that an increase in tuition, although probably going to be unpopular, is actually needed. We can't go back and say, well, we should have done X, Y, and Z in the previous years. The fact of the matter is we're here right now, and we've studied these slides and the proposed budgets for a couple days now. At least I did on my own when I got sent to me. And the administrative staff here at the college has lived with these numbers, looked at the numbers, and understands what it takes to run the university, the college. But because of that, I think we have to give the administration what they need to get the job done, and that's educating students. And if we don't give them what they need, and my understanding is what they need is 10%, and that still doesn't cover it, then we have to give them the 10%. And it's just a factor of finances and where we are today.
On the 10%, if we raise it to 10%, that'll be $11.45 per credit hour. You multiply that by $11 times 12, because of the 12 to 18 hours is the same. An increase per semester would be $137.40 more per student, right? Is that?
That's 10%.
That's 10%.
I have a question. Last year at this time, when you said you voted down the increase, were we in the hole from the previous year as well?
Yes, we've been in the hole for the
That
last
was
4 years, 5 years.
So
Yes.
we survived from that point to this point, and we're still in the same amount of hole as what we were last year.
The budget was balanced last year, and in fact, what happened? A number of things happened, I believe. One was that we had additional declines in enrollment beyond what was projected at the time, and we had a couple of other unforeseen factors that came in that hurt the fund balance. So the combination of those factors pushed us back. But
we've been able to beat down that hole based on your presentation 2 weeks ago. Even without the increase, we were able to beat down that hole using other factors.
right.
But it's important that this increase isn't going into to give raises to anybody. It's just to operate the university. You know, it would be one thing if the administration came here and said, we need any % raise because I think administration needs more money in their check. And I think all of us up here would say, well, too bad. Everybody needs more money. We're not going to put it on the students' backs. But this is to run the university. It's not to raise. It's not for raises. It's to do what the college needs to do with educated students.
And if I understand correctly, the positions that are being eliminated to balance the budget avoid that you've been able to avoid, with the exception of one position, the actual instructional side of things. So it's all in support and administrative expense. We haven't negatively impacted the instructional side of things. That's correct.
Oh, so what you were saying was you did balance it. You mentioned that earlier on, you was trying to ensure there was balancing unforeseen circumstances brought us back.
Right.
So if we can, I mean, we can't eliminate unforeseen circumstances, but is it safe to say that if we didn't have any unforeseen circumstances, then we would be able to balance the budget without?
We could have been going into this coming fiscal year in a zero.
Can I speak to last year? Because it sounds like you're trying to grasp that in terms of what happened last year. Last year, we didn't have a hole number one in Oklahoma. We had $1 million hole at the beginning, and we made up almost all of that. And then what threw us into the hole was the dorm issue, and revenues went down. So we weren't able to pull out of the hole and build a positive balance. So and that was the last year when we built that operating budget. And the other thing is we did build originally a 2.5%, I think it was a 2.5% increase into the budget at that time. But because the board put together, and I think it was a good idea, a group of board members and our staff to go look at everything again. And the interest was in seeing no increase. We ended up having to cut back on positions, and I think last year, I think we cut, was it 12, 15? But with part-time positions, it went higher, but I mean, talking about full bodies, yeah. The year before we cut, it was close to 22, it was quite a few. And I think that it was good for us to go through that exercise, because then I think the two regents that were on this subcommittee with me got to see why we couldn't just do this, we just couldn't do that. There's so many moving parts to the budget, and so many things that complicate for different reasons. So it was hard to make up the difference in the whole. But the long and short of it is, this year we finished writing off all those over expenditures on capital assets. That's what made that whole even bigger. We knew that that was still an issue we had to deal with and we had been talking about that for 2 years, because we knew that was going to happen.